Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, at least 69 feared dead following a massive fire at a mall in Iraq's Al-Quds city. Some still missing. Ukraine's parliament appoints Yulia Svyrydenko as the country's new prime minister. Current deputy prime minister set to take over as the new envoy to the United States. And Syrian government and leaders of the Druze minority groups announced fresh ceasefire following US intervention. UN Security Council to discuss the situation today. In a tragic incident, a fire tore through the newly opened shopping mall in the eastern Iraqi city of Quds overnight, killing at least 69 people, as grief-stricken families searched for missing relatives. The blaze, the latest in a country where safety regulations are frequently neglected, broke out late on Wednesday, reportedly starting on the first floor before rapidly engulfing the five-story hypermarket mall. The cause was not immediately known, but one survivor said that the air conditioner had exploded. According to the Interior Ministry, civil defense teams rescued more than 45 people who were trapped inside the building, which includes a restaurant and a supermarket. In September 2023, a fire had killed at least 100 people when it ripped through a crowded Iraqi wedding hall, sparking a panicked stampede for the exits. In July 2021, a fire in the COVID unit of a hospital in southern Iraq killed more than 60 people. Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Shara promised to protect the rights of the Druze citizens on Thursday as a ceasefire appeared to be holding in the country's south following US intervention to end the fighting between the government forces and the Druze fighters. Syria's interim president al-Shara has now said that protecting the Druze citizens and their rights is their priority. In his first televised statement after the powerful Israeli airstrikes on Damascus on Wednesday, Shara addressed Druze citizens, saying they reject any attempt to drag Druze into the hands of an external party. He added that Syrian people were not afraid of war and are ready to fight if their dignity is threatened.
I also address the Druze people, who are an integral part of the fabric of this nation. Syria will never be a place for division or fragmentation or sowing discord among its people. We assure you that protecting your rights and freedom is one of our priorities, and we reject any effort that aims to drag you to an external party or to create division within our ranks.
Let's take a look at a closer look at the deeply complex sectarian and ethnic mosaic shaping Syria's ongoing conflict. From Sunni Muslims to Alawites to the Druze to the Kurds and Christians, each group has a distinct history, role and stake in the nation's fragile future.
Syria's population of over 20 million is overwhelmingly Sunni Muslim, but also includes a mix of Alawites, Christians, Druze, Shiites and Kurds, each with deep-rooted identities. Sunni Muslims have long dominated Syria's cultural centers like Damascus and Aleppo. But since Hafez al-Assad seized power in 1970, power shifted towards Alawite minority. In 1982, the Syrian branch of the Sunni Islamist Muslim Brotherhood launched an unsuccessful revolt against Hafez al-Assad. The Alawites, just 10% of the population, gained prominence under the Assads. They were a historically poor rural community from Syria's mountainous coastal region. Hailing from the Alawite village of Kwardaha, Hafiz al-Assad seized power after climbing the ranks in the military and the Baath party. Druze communities rooted in southern Sweden maintain a degree of secrecy about the practice of their faith, which incorporates elements from Islam and other philosophies, emphasizing monotheism and reincarnation. The minority group that also has members in Lebanon, Israel, and the Israeli occupied Golan Heights. Kurds are Syria's largest non-Arab ethnic group at around 10% of the population and are concentrated near the border with Turkey and Iraq. They are part of a stateless ethnic group spread between Syria, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and Armenia. Christians, though small in number, are diverse: the Greek Orthodox, Maronites, Syriac Orthodox, and Catholics, Chaldeans, Assyrians, and Armenian Orthodox and Catholics, and a few Protestants. With ethnic and sectarian lines shaping alliances and battlefronts, interim President Sharar's efforts to unify Syria face daunting challenges. The road to peace in Syria must navigate centuries of history and a mosaic of identities, each demanding a voice in the nation's uncertain future. Bureau Report, DD India.
Ukraine's parliament voted on Thursday to appoint Yulia Svyrydenko as the country's new prime minister. According to several lawmakers, 262 of them voted for Svyrydenko, a comfortable majority in the 450-seat parliament. Her appointment was supported by President Volodymyr Zelensky as part of his biggest government reshuffle. Ukraine's newly appointed Prime Minister said that her government would be launching a full audit of public finances to achieve real savings and that large-scale privatizations should be accelerated. Svyrydenko has served as Economy Minister and one of Ukraine's Deputy Prime Ministers since November 2021. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky on Thursday said that Ola Stefanishina would now become the country's new ambassador to the United States. She has been the Deputy Prime Minister responsible for Euro-Atlantic integration. Zelensky on social media said that he had appointed her as a special presidential representative to the US so that she could develop relations with Washington while procedures necessary for her appointment take place. U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine Kate Kellogg visited the country's military training grounds on Wednesday on the third day of his visit to Ukraine. The video footage released by the Ukrainian Interior Ministry press service, Kellogg can be seen visiting a military training exercise site at an undisclosed location in Ukraine with the commander of the National Guard of Ukraine, Brigadier General Alexander Pivanenko. Pivanenko expressed his gratitude to the United States for its support and assistance, according to the statement released by the Ukraine ministry. Kellogg arrived in Ukraine on Monday, that's the 14th of July, a day after the U.S. President Donald Trump announced a toughened stance against Russia for its war in Ukraine, promising a fresh wave of missiles and other weaponry for Ukraine and giving Moscow 50 days to reach a ceasefire or face sanctions. The British government said on Thursday that it planned to give 16 and 17-year-olds in the United Kingdom the right to vote in all elections in a major overhaul of the country's democratic system. The government said that the proposed changes, which are subject to Parliament approvals, would align voting rights across the UK with Scotland and Wales, where younger voters already participate in devolved elections. The reforms would also expand acceptable voter ID to include UK-issued bank cards and digital formats of existing IDs, such as driving licenses and veteran cards. To tackle foreign interference, the government said it also planned to tighten rules on political donations, including checks on contributions over $670 from the unincorporated associations. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz will travel to London on Thursday in his first state visit there since taking office in May. The visit is intended to deepen the close ties between the two countries. During the visit, German Chancellor and UK Prime Minister are expected to sign a friendship treaty covering foreign and security cooperation. The upcoming treaty will also include measures aimed at boosting economic growth and encouraging stronger people-to-people contacts between the two nations. Last October, the United Kingdom and Germany agreed a milestone defense pact, and they have since announced several joint initiatives such as developing strike missiles. G20 Chair South Africa warned on Thursday that abandoning the rules-based global order and declining cooperation could derail the 2030 development goals to end hunger, eradicate extreme poverty and fight climate change. In his opening remarks, South Africa's Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana said that G20 must provide strategic global leadership, cooperation and action in the face of complex challenges. The blueprint adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015 includes 17 targets on areas such as education, climate action and gender equality. But the progress has been uneven and is at risk as the world faces growing uncertainty and mounting threats to multilateralism.
Climate-related shocks and extreme weather events are increasing in frequency and severity worldwide, impacting lives, livelihoods, and macroeconomic stability. The cumulative impact of these cascading challenges is pushing the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030 further out of reach.
Taipei came to a brief standstill on Thursday when air raid sirens prompted people to seek shelter in nearby buildings or underground areas in a rehearsal for a Chinese attack. The annual air raid exercises are aimed at preparing for Chinese missile attacks. During the drill, police in Taipei guided people to safety, while traffic was halted to prevent accidents. Some shops and restaurants pulled down their shutters and turned down the lights to minimize potential threats. China, which claims Taiwan is its territory, has ramped up its military pressure over the past 5 years. Parts of South Korea were battered by torrential downpours on Thursday, triggering widespread flooding that left at least 2 people dead and forced more than 1,000 residents to evacuate. The South Changcheong region was among the hardest hit, with roads, trees and vehicles seen submerged under flooding waters. The deluge led to the closure of 403 schools, while 166 were reported probably damaged. The Korea Meteorological Administration confirmed record-breaking rainfall in some areas and warned of continued wet weather through Thursday night and raising fears of further disruption. And let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. Black smoke and fireworks exploded after the main stage of the Tomorrowland festival in Boom in Belgium caught fire on Wednesday. The cause of the fire was not yet clear. Local media reported a large number of emergency services at the scene and said that local authorities advised residents to keep windows and doors closed. Humanoid artist Alda robot has created a portrait of King Charles, showcasing her latest artistic work. The artwork, titled Algorithm king follows Alda's other royal portraits, Algorithm Queen depicting Charles' mother and the late Queen Elizabeth, which was created on to mark her platinum jubilee in 2022. Britain's Royal Mall is marking the 75th anniversary of the American comic strip Peanuts, with a set of 8 new stamps depicting Charlie Brown, Snoopy and fellow beloved characters. The designs feature specifically adapted Peanuts, which are artworks with some British touches, including Snoopy and Woodstock as the guards outside the Buckingham Palace guard. Still to come up on DD India Live, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met with Republic of Korea President Delhi Presidential Delegation in New Delhi, and the Indian Army is all set to receive next batch of AK-203 assault rifles in 2 to 3 weeks.
This space has an aura which is unmatched. You won't see this anywhere. As soon as I came in, the first sight of Baba Barfani, so I just teared up. So though I don't come across as that spiritual, but nothing could help me that I just teared up. That is how humbling experience this is.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with Republic of Korea Presidential Delegation of Special Envoys in New Delhi on Thursday. The minister, in his social media post, said that discussions were also held on economic, technological, defense and maritime cooperation, in addition to expanding people-to-people exchanges. Jaishankar added that India will engage the new administration actively and work towards further enhancing the special strategic partnership. The Ministry of External Affairs has confirmed that the execution of Nimisha Priya, who was an Indian nurse or is an Indian nurse, is facing death penalty in Yemen. The hanging or whatever the execution has been postponed after sustained diplomatic interventions in recent days. Spokesperson of the ministries, Randeep Jaiswal, said that India aimed at securing a mutually agreeable solution between Nimisha Priya's family and that of the victim.
This is a very sensitive matter, and the Government of India has been offering all possible assistance in the case. We have provided legal assistance and also appointed a lawyer to assist the family. We have also arranged for regular consular visits by a family, and we are also in touch with local authorities as also the family members to resolve this issue. The local authorities in Yemen have postponed carrying out her sentence that was scheduled for 16th July, that you're well aware of. We continue to closely follow the matter and render all possible assistance in the case. We are also in touch with some friendly governments in this regard.
Reacting to NATO chief's remarks on secondary restrictions in the wake of fresh sanctions on Russian oil trade, the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson said that India is closely monitoring the developments. He reiterated that securing energy needs of the country's people is understandably an overriding priority for the government.
We have seen reports on the subject and are closely following the developments. Let me reiterate, and I've said this in the past as well, securing energy needs of our people is understandably an overriding priority for us. In this endeavor, we are guided by what is there on offer in the markets, as also by the prevailing global circumstances. We would particularly caution against any double standards on the matter.
India's Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that Urja Varta 2025 plays a key role in accelerating India's exploration and production sector. Urja Varta 2025 aims to become a critical platform for shaping the future of India's energy landscape and reinforcing the country's commitment to sustainability and innovation in the energy domain. The minister highlighted that he expects that the new round of hydrocarbon exploration is being launched in India to strike several big Guyana-sized oil fields.
We opened up, out of our 3.5 million square kilometers of sedimentary space, we've opened up 1 million square kilometers. In the 10th round of open acreage licensing policy, or OALP, we are offering what, 257,000 square kilometers of bid. This is the largest ever. I don't know, there may have been some earlier, but from what I read in the statistics, probably the largest ever bid. When we did the 9th round of OALP, 38% of bids came in this 1 million square kilometers which was opened out, no-go area.
And commenting on US President Donald Trump's secondary tariff threat against India, Union Minister Puri said that India has diversified its sources of buying oil and is not facing pressure over Trump's new threat. He was speaking at the Urja Varta 2025 in New Delhi.
India has diversified the sources of supply, and we have gone, I think, from about 27 countries that we used to buy from to about 40 countries now. In the last 10-11 years, 16% of the growth in the energy markets, crude oil, has come from India. Yeah. And if you believe in the analysis of the International Energy Agency, a very credible analysis, that in the next 2 decades, 25% of the global growth is going to come from India. If more and more people were to buy from the other OPEC sources, you know what would have happened? Prices would have gone up minimum to $130, $140 a barrel.
Right. President Draupadi Murmu conferred the Swatch Bharat 2024-25 awards at the national ceremony held in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs at Vigyan Bhavan on New Delhi on Thursday. Now, in its 9th edition, Swatch Bharat is the world's largest urban cleanliness survey conducted under the Swatch Bharat mission urban. A new Super League cities category was introduced this year for cities maintaining top cleanliness standards for 3 consecutive years. Indore was named the cleanest city in the new category and also topped the 1 million plus population category, followed by Surat, Navi Mumbai and Vijayawada. Other category winners included Noida in 3 to 10 lakh population. The New Delhi Municipal Council in 50,000 to 3 lakh population, Vita of Maharashtra in 20,000 to 50,000 population, and Panchgani in less than 20,000 population. These were the awards have been held simultaneously since 2016 to recognize excellence and in urban sanitation and hygiene across India. India's Minister of Electronics and Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, has said that the government will provide free AI training to 10 lakh individuals, and priority will be given to village-level entrepreneurs.
आप सबको फ्री में एआई की ट्रेनिंग दी जाएगी। एआई मिशन है अपना बहुत अच्छा, उस एआई मिशन के तहत हम लोगों ने टारगेट लिया है कि करीब करीब 10 लाख लोगों को एआई स्किल्स में तैयार करेंगे। तो आप सब उसमें 5.5 लाख वीएलईज अपने हैं, आप सबको सबसे पहले उसमें प्रेफरेंस दी जाएगी।
The Minister made these remarks at an event by Common Service Centre of E-Governance Services India Limited, which celebrated 10 years of Digital India in Delhi. The grand celebration marked a decade of transformative digital empowerment across the nation. Minister Vaishnav also said that under Prime Minister's digital vision, UPI payments have been surpassed. He said that added that of this 1.4 billion Indians had already taken the rebate. India is deeply divided, is rapidly advancing towards achieving complete indigenous production of the AK-203 assault rifles by December 2025. The official sources in the Indo-Russian Rifles Limited confirmed that the army received 35,000 of these ships or riles before the being the manufactured under the joint Indo-Russian venture in Uttar Pradesh's Amethi in 2024. The 2026, the company aims to produce 120,000 rifles annually fabricated entirely in India from the raw material and supply to the final assembly at the landmark. The landmark development marks a major stride in the country's defence reliance initiatives. And in sports, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka has withdrawn from the Canadian Open tournament in Montreal due to fatigue. Reigning US champions have only one major tournament at Cincinnati in August before she tried to defend her crown. And at the Flushing Meadows, the 27-year-old student from Belarus was rounded up by Australian and French Opens. He reached the semi-final at the Wimbledon and Berlin and won 3 titles at Madrid and Miami. The US Open gets underway from the 18th to the 7th of from the 7th to the 9th of August. And that's it in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available on iOS platforms. Scan the QR code to download now. All right, that's it. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amrit Pal Singh here in Delhi. Thanks for watching.